All right, welcome back, the genius. Okay, so in this chapter of regular expression, we'll just have a very good understanding of regular expression. We're going to explain regular expression, why it is needed, what to use it for, and basically, regular expression is also a concept that is available in almost every programming language. Okay, so if you learn this thing and understand it in JavaScript, you can use it in Python, you can use it in C Sharp, you can use it in PHP, you can use it anywhere. Okay, so you need to really pay good attention to this. All right. So what is regular expression? So regular expressions, they are patterns used for matching and manipulating strings. So basically, when we use regular expression is whenever we are working with strings. Okay. It's either you want to see if a particular string has a matches a pattern, or if a particular string contains a particular pattern. Let's say I have a test like introduction to Regex in JavaScript. That's the string I want to work with. Now I would want to say, okay, does this particular string contains JavaScript? Do you understand? So if I want to check if this particular string contains JavaScript, I will use regular expression to find it out. All right. So I will create a regular expression that has JavaScript, and then I will test it against the string that I'm watching. All right. So you can use it to validate a particular pattern. Let's say you want to check if a particular email is in order. Let's say when somebody is signing up, you want to check if their email address is correct. All right. You can use regular expression to check that pattern. Okay. You can use regular expression to check, let's say you want to ask user for a phone number. You can use regular expression to get that pattern. So for basically, you use regular expression for two things. Validating a test. You want to make sure that this test this user is giving you conforms to a particular pattern. Secondly, you use regular expression to find out if a particular string is contained in another string. Okay, so we'll be doing more of practical. You're going to see all these things in real time. Okay, so in JavaScript, they are a very powerful tool for validating input. Validating input, searching, replacing, and extracting text. Now, there's something you need to understand. In the last, when we talked about strings, I told you that some of the string methods that I will leave it till when we discuss regular expression. So we have few strings that we use as it relates to regular expression. So we also talk about that. We have a section where we talk about strings methods that we use in regular expressions. Okay, so use it to validate input. User is giving you something, you want to validate it if it matches a particular pattern. You want to search for a particular string in a particular string. You want to replace or you want to extract. All right. Then I want you to also understand that you see this thing we are learning here. This regular expression is a very difficult concept to understand. I want you to pay close attention. Short, when I started learning, I didn't find it easy. It was not easy for me to understand. It was later on that I got to understand it. And that's why I'm trying to teach you all the concepts that you need to know. Most people will not teach you regular expression because it's hard to teach and it's even hard to understand. So I want you to pay close attention. Now, in this session, we are going to be guiding you on the basics of using regular expression. I'm just going to put you through on the basics. Then in the next session, we talk about more advanced concept of it. In the other section, we'll talk about some regular expression methods. And then the last session, we'll talk about some string methods that uses regular expression, okay? So what is the syntax? You already know what a syntax is. A syntax is how do we do something? How do we write something? So there is a pattern. There is a way you write your regular expression. If it doesn't follow that pattern, if it doesn't conform with the syntax of regular expression, you will not get it right. So what is the syntax? Now, this is how you write regular expression. A regular expression in JavaScript can be written in two ways. The first one is the literal syntax. How does the literal syntax work? It starts with a forward slash. Then whatever pattern you want to check for, you put it in. So we have double forward slash, then the pattern will be inside of it. Then we have something else we call flags. We'll talk about flags in this session, but for now, let me just take you to coding so that you see how regular expression, how you can actually create a regular expression. So I'm going to go to my Visual Studio Code and I will open my code. Okay, so we are here, all right? So now let me just start afresh here. So I want to create a regular expression. Let's say introduction to JavaScript is a string that I want to check if it contains a, this is my string. My string is, remember I told you always build your string with the template literal. It will help you avoid a lot of things. It's better you master, make it as a habit to be using, start using template literal to create your string. So I'm going to say introduction to regular or regex in JavaScript. Okay, so this is the string we have. So let's assume that we want to test this particular string. Does it match a particular pattern or does it contain a particular string? Remember, you use regular expression for two main reasons. Either validating a particular pattern or searching for a particular pattern. Okay, so I'm going to create my regular expression, and what we are trying to let you know here is how do you, the syntax for creating regular expression. So I'm going to use the literal syntax. So I will just call it regex. And remember, the literal syntax says you will have forward slash. Then inside of it, you can now put the pattern you want to look for. Let's say I want to look for REGX. I want to see if this particular pattern is contained. I want to search. Right now, I'm searching. I'm not looking for a pattern. I'm not looking for validating a test. I'm searching. So I want to search. Does this string that I have, introduction to regular regex in JavaScript, does it contain regex? So how do we do that? So this is my regular expression. And what am I going to do now? I'm not going to do this. I will say, because it will return a Boolean. So I would put my result. I will just say result, RES is equal to, I will now say regex dot, all right, test, all right. I'll say regex dot test. Look at what it's expecting. It's expecting a string, okay, and it returns a Boolean. So when I say regex.test, is a, don't worry, we are going to discuss this regular expression object. We are going to discuss all the methods, okay, that are available that we can use. So for now, just focus. I want you to understand how to create a regular expression and how to test. So right now, I want to test if this particular regular expression, okay, so no. I'm going to do, what I will do is, okay, there are two ways I can actually do this. Okay, sorry, I can go by doing regex.test. Okay, and this test I will put in the string. Okay, so that's one way I can go about it. And if I console.log, my result, let's see what it gives us. So it either gives us true or false. Okay, so of course I'll run my code. Let me expand this a bit. I'll run without debugging and let's see what we get. Sorry. Okay, you can see it gives me true. It means that, yes, this particular string that I have here contains this regular expression. It gave me true. What if I now say, instead of regex, I now say regex t, that I've added a t. Now, from your own perspective, do you think that this, does this regex, do we have this regex in this string? No, we don't. So it will give us false. So I'm trying to say this regular expression that has a pattern of regex, all right? I'm testing it if this particular regular expression is contained in this string. And of course, it's not contained. So what do you think will come back? We are going to get false because it doesn't contain it. So we got false. So you can see we were able to test if this particular string that we have, if it contains a particular pattern. So we were able to get that, okay? So don't worry, we are going to treat regular expression as an object, all right? And in there, we'll also talk about the methods, okay? So there's another way I can also check if, I can look at, this is one way of using the regular expression .test method to check. I can also use the whole string. I can use this string, although we'll talk about it later. I can say this string dot match. All right, this is a string method, not a regular expression method. Right? Right now, in the next way we create regular expression is by using the regular expression constructor. But right now, I'm just trying to check. This is the easiest way actually. All right, I have a string, introduction to regex in JavaScript. So I want to check if this particular string, all right, match a particular regular expression. So I'm going to give it this regex. And if we run this, let's see what we get. Okay, so look at what it returned. It doesn't just return a particular, it doesn't return true or false. Okay, all right, it returns an array. And this array contains, look at what it contains. It contains the pattern we are looking for, regex. It also contains the index, the static index, and it contains the input. Okay, now this is another way of doing it, but of course, it didn't give us, right, it gave us a return an array. So we can now work with this array. All right, so but the best way we can see here is using, we can say regex.test in case you just want to test if this thing contains. We can also do string dot contains, string dot includes, okay? String dot includes, all right? We said string dot match, although we'll talk about this method later on, explain it in detail. But look at it, this string dot includes can also take this regular expression, all right? And when we run this, we want to check, does this string contain this regular expression? Okay, we got an error. Okay. Okay, so this, no. The include method is not a regular, it's not for regular expression, okay? It's just a normal, we talked about it when we're talking about the string method, okay? So now this is one way of creating regular expression, all right? You create a regular expression with this /, then the pattern inside of it, then you can now test for it. Regex.test, you test it against the string you want to, and it gives you your result. It will return a Boolean. So if we run this, it returns a Boolean. Okay. So this is one way of creating regular expression. This is the literal syntax. Okay. We will talk about flags later on. So, but the second way is using the constructor. Yes, you might not understand what a constructor is because we have not talked about classes. Okay, classes in JavaScript, but this is a class. You can use it to create a regular expression. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. Okay, but in the next section, we are going to talk about this regular expression, creating regular expression with the constructor. So right now, I do not want to use the here. I don't want to use the literal syntax. I want to use the constructor. So I will say new regex. So with this new reg expression, all right, then it's asking me for what pattern do I want to look for. I can give it a regular expression, or I can give it a string. I can just say regex is what I'm looking for. Or I can, instead of a string, I can also put the, okay, so I can do string here. I can just say regex, or I can do string, or I can just go with the normal regular expression, okay? But this is what I can do. I can create the regular expression here. I can just say reg, and I say with template literal, sorry, with the literal syntax, I can just say, regex. So it's either I provide the regular expression here, or I provide a string. So I can provide a string here, or I can say, I can use this reg. Now this reg is a variable that contains a regular expression. So any of this works, okay? So I can now say regex dot test, okay? I can say regex dot test, and what am I testing? I'm testing again this string. So you can see That's the same thing we did the other time. Okay. So, but in the next section, we are going to talk about this in details. The regular expression constructor, the object it creates, and the methods it has in details. Okay. So now this is one way to create regular expression using the literal syntax or using the constructor, the regular expression constructor. Okay. All right. So before we go to common flags, let us do something. I want to take you to I want to take you to a website where you can actually try these regular expressions. Okay, so you can go and type in Regex, regular. Anyways, let me just go straight. This is regex.com. Okay, this is okay. So now this is a website where you can use to test regular expression. But first of all, make sure that JavaScript is selected here. Make sure it is JavaScript that is selected. Okay. Then we are going to delete everything that is here. So this is our regular expression, and we have a flag here, but let's just remove the flag. All right. So now look at this text that we have. We have a couple of texts here. Let's say we want to search for value. Let's say we want to search for validate. Okay. Let's say we want to search for validate. Okay, so right here, we can actually test for what we are looking for. Now we have a lot of, this is plenty text, but let me just remove it. Let me just delete it. Okay, let's say we have introduction to Regex in JavaScript. Okay, introduction to Regex in JavaScript. Now, let's assume the same thing what we are looking for, Regex, all right? You can use here to come and do the same thing. You can say Regex, and you can see it's highlighting what it found. It matches, it got something, all right? So if I say Regex, you can see it doesn't match anything. So there's no match here. So it is saying no match, okay? And I could say I'm looking for 2. There is a match, all right? I can say I'm looking for in. So I'm using this thing to search. And I can also say I'm looking for full introduction. I'm looking for a pattern. Introduction to Regex. All right? Introduction to Regex in JavaScript. It is going to match, okay? It's going to match it. Do you understand? But what happens if I do something like this? Instead of this capital S, I do small s. You can see it doesn't match again. Why? Because JavaScript here and JavaScript here, they are not the same. And remember, JavaScript is case sensitive. So I'm going to show you, when we talk about flags, I'm going to show you how to solve this problem. Okay, so this whole thing is case sensitive. All right, it's case sensitive. So that is it. So I've shown you how to create regular expression with literal syntax and also with the regular expression constructor, and where you can also come and play around. You can just write some text here and you'll be using this thing to get your match. You can see that this thing starts with, this whole thing is inside // the two of them, okay? So let's go back to our slide and see what we got. Okay, so now let's talk of common flags. Let's talk of flags. We have up to 5 flags, but basically we'll be talking about the most commonly used 2. All right, the first flag we are going to talk about is, now we use flags to modify the behavior of regular expressions. Just like you have seen that JavaScript, all right? The JavaScript didn't match the other JavaScript because of the capital S and the lowercase s. Now, we can use the flags to actually modify it, all right? So the first one we do is global search. If you want to search a particular pattern, a particular test, if you want to search it globally, we can add the G flag. So let's go to Visual Studio Code. And right here, I have a regular expression. Okay, I have a regular expression. But now look at it. What if I have another regex? Another regex. I have like more than one regex. So definitely, all right, it's going to, when I say test, it's just going to match it. Do you understand? It's going to match it. It's going to still give us true because there is a match. So this will not be very, very much useful to explain this global expression. But let's try using execute. Execute would return, execute will return an array, it will return something. Let's see what it's going to return for us. When I run, it returns an array. Okay, it returns an array just like the other one did. Okay, so there's something I want to share with you, and I'm trying to get it right. So if I say regex dot exe global multi-line source sticky. No, this is not giving me what I want. So okay. All right, so I could do this. I could say exec. So whatever it returns is an array. I could say dot length. Okay, all right. So I could say dot length. Now look at it. This dot length is returning how many matches did we find? I'm using because this regular expression dot exec method. We'll talk about it later on. But it will return an array. So it is going to return how many occurrences. So when we run this thing now, we are just going to get one. But if you can see now, we have more than one regex string inside of this string now. So, but we're only just getting the first one. But if you want to get, if you want to reach out to all the different occurrences, you just have to use the flag G. So when I use G now, it's going to account for all the occurrences of regex here. So when I run again, it's not just going to give us one. It's going to, okay, this is not giving me the exact example I want to. So, but let's go back to our browser. So if I go and say this regular expression here, I have another regex here. Okay, I have another one here. All right. So if I now say what I'm looking for regex, if I do not put, look at it, I do not put the flag G, but it's just selecting the first occurrence. But if I come and add flag here, all right, if I come and add flag here, you can see it has gotten to all the three occurrences. But if I remove flag, it's just going to, if I remove the global flag, just going to get the first occurrence. So when you want to search for multiple occurrences of a particular pattern, you will add the flag global G. All right. So I was looking for the best example to show you in code here. I did something and okay, let's say, yes, this is it. Exec returns, okay. Oh, sorry, no, I got it wrong. Because I'm using the constructor method, I should put the flag here, yes. Yeah, this is why I should use the flag. I should use the flag here. Right, that's my mistake. So I'm using the flag inside this regular expression constructor. So when I run this thing, now I'm expecting to get 3 occurrences. Oh, it didn't still give me what I want. Okay. All right. Don't worry, when we talk about the constructor itself, we're going to get to that. But I can't really find out. I want it to give me the number of occurrences, but it's not giving it to me. So when I run, I get this. Index is 0 input. Okay. Let me just try more. Let me just try one more time, and I'll do let me just use this one, reg, then I put my global flag and I run. Let me see what I get. Okay. 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 So, all right, when we get to talking about discussing the full regular expression methods, we'll get to that. I'm not getting something right here. That is here, but at least you have got, when you go to the website, you can actually see that with the global pattern, the global flag, you can actually get to other occurrences. So when we talk about this regular expression constructor and all the methods, these are the methods. So we are going to take a look at one of them one by one. We have the dot, or we have the exec, we have the flash, we have the global. So we are just going to take a look at all of them and see. All right. So if we try to use test will just return true or false. All right. It just return a Boolean. Okay. All right. So the next flag we are going to see is the case insensitive search. Okay. I've told you that when we went to that browser, all right, when we went to the browser, all right, if I try to do capital G here or capital E here, you can see there is no match again, because this regex here is not the same thing with this one we have in the match but I can now add a flag. All right. And I say, no, don't worry. I want it to be case insensitive. All right. I do not care about their cases. I just want to get that match. But if you are so concerned about the case, you don't have to put the case insensitive flag. It is whenever you don't want the case sensitivity, that is when you put the case sensitive flag. Okay. So when we also go to our code, we can also say regular expression I, and we can do the same thing here. Instead of X, we can do the same thing. And when we test, we are still going to get true because it is case insensitive. So we are going to get true. But if we do not put the I flag, all right, and run this code, it will say false because they are not the same thing. Regex and the capital S and the uppercase S and the lowercase s are not the same thing. So if you're looking for case insensitivity, all right, this is something you would have to put in consideration. Use the I for case insensitivity if you don't want it to be case sensitive. Remember, JavaScript is case sensitive, okay? All right, so now this is how you create it. So now let's take a look at basic regular expression patterns. The literal will match the exact text. It will match, that's what we have seen. We have been using regex. It will match the exact text. But we have seen it already. Okay. So what are special characters? Now let's say we can use special characters. And these special characters, the first one we are going to take a look at is the dot. The dot matches any single character except new line. It will match any single character except new line. Now let's go to the browser. Okay. When we say, instead of what we are using here is the literal, but we can use special characters. The literal will match the text, the exact text. But when we say literal, when we say use special characters, if I say dot, you can see that this dot matches every single character except for new line. So what they mean by new line is this. If I take this thing, okay, so it doesn't match this new line. There's a new line here. There's a new line here. So it wouldn't match it. All right. So for now, it matches every single character. So if you want to match every single character, you use a special character with dot. Dot will match every character. All right. Whether numerical or alphanumerical, it will match everything. It will match every single character. You can see it will match every single character. The dot is a special character that will match every single character. So in case you're targeting every single character, you will use the dot special character, okay? So we go back to our slide. We have another one, the D. the D, backslash D, it will match every single digit. It will not match alphabet, it will only match digits. While the dot special character will match every single character, whether alphabet or digits. So the D will match every digit. So if I go and remove this dot and go for backslash D, you can see it only matched 7. If I have 6 here, you can see it's only matching digits. So in case you want to search for digits, all right, let's say you want to search for digits only, you're going to use this backslash D. Okay, that is how you search for digits. Okay, if you want to search for non-digits, you use the capital D. What you're trying to say is that I want to search for anything that is not a digit. So if you want to do that, you're going to use the capital D instead. So if I go now and say capital D, you can see it all matches every other thing except the digits. Okay? It matches every other thing except the digit. So if I go back now, let's go and try our code again. If I come here and say, I just want to search for digits. Of course, I don't have any digits here. So what do you expect? Our result will be false because we don't have any digits. Okay? It will still be false. We don't have any digit. But if I say I have a digit here, of course, there is a digit. So if I run this thing now, it will get us through. It will get through. But if I say capital D, if I say capital D and run, I'm not going to get, I will still get through. Do you know why? Because we also have other non-digits. Regex, introduction to Regex, they are all non-digits, okay? So, but where you see this thing play very well is using this. So you can see here the digits were excluded, okay? So if I go to, we continue. W, backslash W will match every word character. Word character, alphanumeric plus underscore. Word character, alphanumeric plus underscore. So if I go on now and say W, all right, you can see it matches every alphanumeric. Alphanumeric is, that means it also match digits and alphabets. Alphanumeric, digits and alphabet and underscore. In case I have underscore here, it would also match it. In case I have underscore here, it would also match it. But you can see that it does not match any of these special character, this dollar and star. It didn't match it. So if I have, if I also have and here, you can see it does not match it. So W will match alphanumeric, alphabets and numeric and then digits plus underscore. But it will not match any other thing that may be a special character like the and symbol or the dollar symbol. But if I want to target the dollar symbol, I can use the dot. The dot will match every character. I can also use the D. The capital D will match anything that is not digit. Do you understand? So you just have to practice this thing more, okay? The next thing we have to show is, then the capital W will match anything that is, that the capital W is the opposite of W, all right? That means in this case, it's going to now, it will not match all these other ones. It will not match only the special characters, the dollar and the star. You can see here now it does not match any alphanumeric. But if I do small w, it matches alphanumeric and it does not match any other special character. But if I do w, that's the opposite. Okay, that's the opposite of it. So we also have, we also have another one, S. S will match only white spaces. S will match only white spaces. So if I go on and say S, you can see it only matches white spaces, only white spaces. All right. If you want to search for white spaces, you use S. Okay. If you want to search for white spaces, you would use S. If you want to search for anything that is not white, if you want to exclude white spaces, you will use capital S. But in case you want to search for everything, you can go on and use the dots. Sorry, you can go on and use the dot. And you can see the dot matches even white spaces. All right. So just practice with all these things. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask us. Reach out to us. Okay. I've just shown you the capital S right now. So this is how it works. Just practice it. Just practice it. So there is something we also call quantifiers. So quantifiers is how many do I want to match? How many do I want to match? So if I say my quantifier is star, it means I'm going to match 0 or more. All right. So let's go now. Let's go and say, let's go and look for something specific, more specific. If I come here and say, I want a digit, all right, sorry. I want a digit that is 0 or more characters. So I will use the star. 0 or more. I'm quantifying it. I'm saying 0 or more. So I'm using the star. You can see that it match both digit that is 2 and digit that is just 1. I'm saying how many occurrences. I'm looking for digits that will just match 0 or more. So when I go back to slide, you will see that it says this will match that occurrence 0 or more times. All right. So to show you the difference, I think I'll just have to minimize this so that I can have us. Oh, oops. Okay, I can just do this. All right. So you can see here we are saying star says 0 or more. So even if we have another digit that is, it will match it. We are saying 0 or more occurrence, 0 or more. So it will match 0 or more. So whether it is 0, 1, 2, 3, how many, whatever it is, 0 or more. But we can also say, we want to limit it to something. We want to say, we just want 1 or more times. Okay, 1 or more times. So if I go back to the browser, I'm going to say this, 1 or more times. If I, instead of star, I will say plus. All right. Okay, I think this will not, let me use this. I want to use, let me go for E. Okay, let me go for E, but I want a place where E would occur 2 times, 0 or more times. So if I say star, all right, you can see it. I said I want a place where E will occur 0 or more times. You can see that it selected everything, all right? But what if I say I want E plus, okay, it is 1 or more times. So you can see we also get it 1 or more times, all right? But another one we could, let's say I have another place where I have E 2 times. I'm just going to add E here. So it is matching 1 or more times, 0 or more times, because it matches it. What if I go on and say question mark? Question mark says 0 or 1 time. So we don't want it to be more than 1 time. We just want it's either it occurred 0 time or 1 or just once. But if you see, we have this E that occurred 4 times. So once I take this thing out and use question mark, all right, 0 or 1 time, okay, it's still matching it. Let me remove the flags. Oh, no, I can remove the case insensitive. If I remove the global, everything goes. So it only match 0, 1 or 0 or 1 time. Okay. But if I go with the global, we still have this. But if I remove it, it says we are looking for either occur 0 or 1 time. If I go back to star, okay, we don't get anything. We have to put the flag back. Okay, so 0 or 1 time, if I go with the question mark, okay, 0 or 1 time, it's also if I put EA here, okay, 0, I'm saying here 0 or 1 time. Okay, let's assume I have it here. All right. And I don't know what else we could have that will have double E inside of it. Okay. So now look at it. 0 or 1 time, all right, is matching it. If I say 0 or multiple times, it's matching everything. If I say 0 or 1 time, okay, then another one is we are using this curly brace. We are using curly brace. So here, this is not supposed to match this EE. Okay. Okay. It says 0 or 1 time. It should not be more than 1. And if we have this, it's occurring, it shouldn't. Okay. This says 0 or 1 time. So it should, okay. So right now, it is matching 0 or 1 time. You can also go for, I said, I want E just once. Okay. I want E wherever it occurs just once. Okay. I want E wherever it occurs just once. Okay. So if I go back now, I can say I want E wherever it occurs just 2 times. You can see the difference now. We have this one matched because this other E does not occur 2 times. Okay. It does not occur 2 times. And I think this is where the confusion was coming from. If I say E, all right, this will match everything, all right? Definitely to match everything, 0 or more time, 1 or more time, or 0 or 1 time, which is the question. It was matching everything. But if I say EE, all right, now I'm saying 0 or 1 time. That is why it is not, this is very tricky, okay? Now let me say I'm looking for EE, wherever EE, of course. So I can go back and say EE is 0 or multiple times. That is why this every E, even the one is also, it says 0 or more times. I can go and say 0, 1, or 1 time. Okay, 0 or just 1 time. And you can see it matches this one only because we don't have EE here. All right. So this is very tricky. And with practice, you're going to understand this. You know, I told you this could be very, very tricky, but let me explain more again. Look at the difference here. The first time we are looking for a pattern, we are saying EE. We are looking for a pattern where we have double E in a particular word. So if I say I'm looking for 0 or more times, you can see it matches every other E because I say 0 or more times. That means I'm including them even when they are not 2 E's. If I now say 1 or more time, you can see I say at least 1. That means the other E's were not selected. If I now say question mark, which is 0 or 1 time, it also matches because I said even if it is 0 occurrence, give it to me. But once I say plus, I'm saying 1, 0 or 1 time. So I could also use this other quantifier that will be in curly braces. I can just say I want it wherever it occurs 2 times. Do you understand? I could say wherever it occurs 3 times. You can see we don't have any match again. All right. If I say I want it wherever it occurs just 1 time, all right, it matches EE. If I also look for where it occurs 2 times, it also matches the triple E because it matches 2 times. If I say I want where it matches exactly 3 times, you see we don't get anything again. All right. So just play around with this thing. It's very tricky. We can also say matches N or more times. I can now say, I want where this occurs 2 or 3 times. I can say 1 or 3 times. I can say 3 or 4 times. So you can just quantify it. It's up to you, depending on what you want. I can say 2 or 3 times, 4 times, and you can say it. So depending on what you want, just play around with these things. All right. So when you say, when you don't, now what I did was the last one, n, between n and n times. You can also say, I want it where it matches n or more times. So if I do not provide anything after this comma, all right, it says 2 or more times. I can say 1 or more times. If I say 0 or more times, you can say it now got to or the other is. That's why I say this is very tricky. Just pay close attention. Practice. This is something you have to, if possible, watch this video over and over again so that this thing can sink in, okay? So that's what we have done here. So there's something else we call anchors, okay? Anchors, if you want to say, I want to search for a string that starts with. So I can go and say, I want a string that starts with. I can say, I'm looking for a string that starts with. So I'm going to use this, symbol, and I want something that starts with EA. Okay? This our string doesn't start with EA, but it starts with arrow E. Do you understand? All right. It starts with arrow G. So we can, this is matching it. But if I say I want one that starts with EA, all right, it doesn't, because this our string doesn't start with EA. Okay. It doesn't start with EA. All right. So, but I can say ends with. The next one is ends with. All right, I'll use the $sign to look for the one that ends with. So if I want to say ends with, all right, I have not gotten anything yet, but if I want to search for this, I want to measure. Let's say I have, let me take this thing out. I have a word, it, and I want to measure that this thing ends with. Let me go back to starts with. Okay. I want to say it starts with. You can see it matches the word because this word is starting with EA. If I say I want to search for a word that ends with T, E-A-T. All right. I want a word that ends with AT. It didn't match. I want a word that ends with T. I want a word that ends with, it starts with this and ends with this. Why is it not matching? End of a string, EAT. Okay, why is it not matching? Okay, so okay, this whole, let me, I think we're having a confusion. Let me put it straight. So we say we want to start with, we are looking for a word that starts with EAT, but we also want to look for a word that ends with. Okay, that ends with a word that ends with 80. No, this ends with comes after. 80 should be that ends with 80. Ooh, for some reasons, I'm not really getting this right. Like I said, this is very, very tricky. It's very, very tricky. So ends with. Okay, so this is ends with. Okay, so sorry, I'm not getting, this is not getting right. If I take the flag off, let me see. Okay, in the next session, I'm just going to correct this. In the next session, I'm going to correct this, okay? Yeah, in the next session, I'm going to correct this. So, but this is where we end. I told you this is very, very tricky, but in the next session, I'm going to mention this ends with. All right, so let me just go and make some, let me just go and look into my book and see. All right, that ends with, let me see why it's not working, okay? So thank you very much. I will see you in the next session, okay? Make sure you do your assignment, make sure you write your test, and let's see how it goes, okay? Thank you very much. I will see you in the next session.